Welcome into the Slobberknocker Sports Podcast, episode 86. We are here today to talk everything NBA Finals. We've got two games in the books in both the NBA Finals and the NHL Stanley Cup. So we'll recap that. We'll look forward to games 3, 4, and 5, which will take place this week. We'll kind of give some updated predictions and break down those series. We'll talk some NFL. We'll look at some NFL win totals today. We won't do all of them, but we'll do like 10. We've got some good 2-minute drill content here, a good golf video for the best thing I saw this week. I don't know if you saw the end of the Canadian Open.
No, I didn't.
That's why awesome.
That's why I'm glad you're putting this on. I did not see it at all.
Very cool. Do you know who won?
No.
Okay, perfect. Then
hopefully Matteo Montecero, because I see his name up there. That's too bad.
I think he came in third.
That's good. He still made money. You probably don't know a lot about him, but he was like one of the best golfers in the world at like 17, 18, and then basically like got the yips.
Of course, we're going to talk some WNBA, and apparently we will touch on this, and we'll break it down in depth. We're going to try and do this whole show in under an hour. But Kevin Durant possibly to the Spurs is what I'm hearing right now.
Fuck no.
I know.
No.
Hold on. We'll get to it. I agree. I completely agree. We'll come to it. We'll come to it in a little bit. Let's start real quick because I want to go to this first. We're going to go. I had a swan dive, but I didn't get to it. So we're going to go best thing I saw this week.
Watch out now.
All right. So let's go to the Canadian Open, RBC Heritage Canadian Open. Okay, so this is Sam Burns, and Sam Burns on the 18th hole, he was way back and shot a crazy back nine. I think he was 29, shot a 29 on the back nine. He's going to make this birdie putt on 18 to get to 18 under. You can see everybody still playing kind of in those last groups is 10, 11, 12, 13.
Yeah, you would think that 18 probably at worst gets you into a playoff typically there.
Right. And so he ends up 18 under. Now Ryan Fox here needs to make birdie on the 18th. This is his third and his approach in. He needs to get up and down from here to force a playoff, and he's going to hit it to about 17 feet. Not a great shot, but he's got a chance here. So now Ryan Fox is going to have to make that putt.
It's a coward shot, by the way. Bailed out right there. He didn't go right at the pin.
I guess he did.
Wanted to make sure he made it.
By the way, this is the New Zealand All Whites. They're called the All Whites. That's the most racist thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Look at them.
Yep.
They are all white.
They're all white.
But here's Ryan Fox, and he's going to need to make this to force a playoff from 17 feet away. Sam Burns is over there warming up on the range just in case, and this is going to fall in barely. And Ryan Fox forces a playoff. The Whites are going nuts. The Whites love it.
Whites love it.
And so we go to a playoff. All right.
There's nothing that gets the Whites fired up like a birdie putt.
How about Cam Young playing pretty good there? Finished
it's about time. He's been dog shit for a while.
Okay, this is the first playoff hole. They just play 18 over and over, and this is Sam Burns' approach shot. On the 18th, his third, and he's going to hit this to 5 feet. An incredible shot here. And Sam Burns this year is the best putter on the tour, on the PGA Tour. He's been phenomenal putting. So Fox was way farther away, so he probably has to make this to stay alive. If he doesn't, Burns is going to have a look from 5 feet to win it.
Bam, right in the middle.
And he just barely missed it.
Oh, jinxed him.
And so now Sam Burns right here for the win from 5 feet away, the best putter on the PGA Tour, and he misses it. Could not get it to go. Now, they would play this hole back-to-back times. They'd tie. They'd each make 5 on the first and second time, so they actually don't have another playoff hole. Instead, they have a new playoff hole location. So they changed the whole location. This is the 4th playoff hole.
I've never seen that before in my life.
Now,
that's very strange.
every single
I've seen
time,
them play the same hole.
Every single time they've laid up. But this time, finally, Ryan Fox is going to go for it in 2, and he's going to hit just an incredible shot to within about 5-6 feet. So now Sam Burns has to go for it in 2, and he's going to hit this just 2 left back towards the other hole location, the original hole location.
Oh, yeah, that would have been a hell of a shot.
Yeah, it would have been. And Burns had good looks to go for it before that, but never did. So now Burns, he's got to at least get home in 2 here. Obviously, it'd be great if he made it because Fox has a good look. But this runs way by, and now he's got to make this just to avoid having to lose to a 2-putt. And he is the best putter on tour, so you think he would knock this in. and he lips it out.
Oh.
And now Ryan Fox just has to get home in 2. You're going to see Burns tap it in there. Here's Fox's putt here.
What a situation to be in 2 putts from
6 feet.
Yeah, I could even do this.
And, I don't know. I think it'd be iffy for me. But he's actually going to run this by a little too much.
Yeah. He did not want to run it from that
far
by.
No, he did not.
I promise you that.
And
he was like, I'm going to try to win this in style. And
yeah.
he was like, oh, shit.
But he knocks it in, and the whites go crazy.
Yep.
Ryan Fox wins it at the RBC Heritage. But crazy, 4 playoff holes there. And like you said, so you've never seen that before. That they've never done that in any other tournament where they change the whole location.
They may. I just have never seen it.
They said they put in that rule earlier in the week, like on Thursday or on Wednesday, right before the tournament. They put that in.
It's weird that they keep playing. 18. Typically with those, it's like almost always it's like 18, 18, and then they'll go to like the closest par 3.
That's what you think.
And then they come back.
Yeah. Okay, this next one's gonna be the head scratcher of the week. Now, Aryna Sabalenka lost in the French Open, or Roland Garros, final to Coco Gauff. The American Coco Gauff got the better of her. And so Aryna Sabalenka, this is her in the press conference following the loss. I want you to take a listen to what she has to say here. I don't know if you heard this.
I did. It was funny.
So basically that's it. I was just making unforced errors. Like, I don't know, I have to check the statistics. I think she won the match not because she played incredible, just because I made all of those mistakes from, like, if you look from the outside, kind of like from an easy balls.
So, question, do you have a problem with her saying that? I'm not going to say that
You're obviously not supposed to say that,
right.
But it was the God honest truth.
It really
I think
was.
she had 70 unforced errors.
She did have 70 unforced
She
errors.
wrote the next day, like, sorry, I was emotional, obviously. And then it was like, I'm always honest, but I did have 70 errors. It's not like I played well.
No,
but
she's
all
absolutely
credit
right.
to Coco. I mean, she won, but I did have 70 errors.
She wasn't saying she didn't deserve to win.
Correct.
She's just saying, I made a bunch of mistakes and I played terrible.
Right.
I'm mad at myself
and she's
for
a
playing
foreigner.
terrible.
She just probably didn't phrase it right.
Sure.
She wasn't probably trying to be ugly. She's just like, I lost because I, played horrible.
Yeah.
And then just kind of lost in translation. I don't think she was trying to be too bitchy with it.
And I've never seen her actually be, after a match, too bitchy. She's crazy during matches.
Yeah.
And she did go, I don't know if you watched it, she went completely off the rails. She looked like old Aryna Sabalenka, who just was losing her shit and, double faulting and hitting it all over the place. And she still had plenty of chances. She broke back, I think, at 4-4. And then ended up getting broken right back. And then she had a chance to break Coco in the end. And it was very, and really, again, Coco was kind of choking, and Sabalenka just gave it to her. She really did. So what she said was absolutely true. She also did say, I believe, if you kept listening to the interview, she said when she played Iga Swiatek, who had won 26 or 27 straight French Open matches, she said, look, it's the same thing there. Like, Iga played a horrible match against me. If she plays me on any other day, she probably beats me. So she wasn't like, it's just what she's saying was true. Anyway.
100%. No.
So moving on, we're going to go to the dumbass of the week. We haven't done this in a while.
I'll tell you what, when I saw it up, I figured it had to be dumbass of the week. Jazz Chisholm is like the biggest idiot in the entire world.
So there's 2 nominees. This is number 1. This is Jazz Chisholm. He is giving an interview with the commentators of this game, and he's not really paying attention as this ball is hit to him. He's going to make a big error.
Oh, my God.
And he really has no problem doing it. Now, should they be interviewing him in the middle of the game? Probably not. A player in the middle of the game is kind of odd.
They always they do it, and it's only, I believe, on Sunday Night Baseball. So Major League Baseball makes basically a player or 2 from each team do it. They think it's interactive, and they did it in spring training forever, and people liked it. My rule on it would be, if I was a team manager, I would make it an outfielder. I wouldn't have my shortstop doing it. I know most people are like, oh, it doesn't make a difference. If balls hit you in the air in the outfield, you typically have a little bit more time to respond. Anyway. Infield, you hit a chopper right when you're giving an interview. I don't know. Either way, I get why managers and teams probably don't like doing it. I'm sure Jazz Chisholm just likes the attention, but I think all in all, if they're only doing it on Sunday Night Baseball, which I believe that is the case, and it's like one player, for an inning. It's really not that big of a
Yeah,
deal.
I just think it's the fact that they're playing.
Jazz Chisholm just fucking sucks. That's the problem.
Okay, number 2, we're gonna go to the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese, who are taking on the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark.
I have no comment.
This is
for this.
Angel before the game in her outfit. She's coming in.
Yep, she's getting ready to start her stripping career.
She must be.
Like they said, she's gonna be. What did that one AI video say? She's gonna be doing tricks for Shaquille O'Neal before we know it.
Well, I will say she's heading towards there with how she's been playing as of late. She's the all-time lowest field goal percentage in WNBA history. This is the Sky before the game. This is their pregame warm-up. Honestly, one of the cringiest things I've ever seen.
Aren't the Chicago Sky like 1-19?
Watch. Keep in mind, they played the Fever missing 3 starters at home. What was it, the United Center?
Oh my God! Wait, this was the other day.
This was Saturday. This was Saturday.
They lost by 27 to the Fever with nobody.
Yes, they scored 52 points. She was 2 of 7 with 4 points and had a minus 20 and 3 turnovers.
What are these?
Cocaine Bear was balling.
Cocaine Bear is the truth.
And by the way, Aaliyah Boston is horrible. Again, she cost me I was on another streak. I had 3 in a row, and she cost me the streak.
Question: Why? Okay, because you keep up with this more than me. Like your Jamel Hills of the world and people that actually like Angel Reese. What are they? Have they had any comments?
I
during this time,
I really haven't
know?
seen. I think they've been very quiet the last.
Okay,
I think that's what's happened. They just aren't saying anything because
they just realize she's fucking horrible.
Yeah, and they're embarrassed at how stupid they look for trying to say she's in the category of Rookie of the Year last year.
That's what's so silly about it all is listen, she brings the hate on herself. She likes the attention. She says outlandish things. But what makes it even worse for her is in this world of delusion is the people that are actually pumping her up.
Yeah.
They're what do you guys do? Clearly she's not good.
She's horrible.
I mean, I don't understand what. It's not even a debate. I mean, we've seen what she's done. She has done time and time again. I mean, obviously she grabs the rebounds because she misses every shot she takes. People are oh, she had 12 rebounds. Yeah, because she misses 10 shots a game.
Yeah. And grabs. She missed 5 shots and 5 offensive rebounds. All 5 offensive rebounds were hers.
Probably so.
Real misses. Yeah. No, she really is one of the worst players in the WNBA. She was voted an All-Star last year, but I believe it was a fan vote. But she was an All-Star last year, dude. It's a joke. Anyway,
that's pretty crazy.
We'll get her off the screen because I don't want to look at her anymore, and she's god awful. But let's move on. One more little picture here, by the way. Have you seen this controversy with that video of how Caitlin Clark was looking at Sophie Cunningham and everybody saying that Caitlin Clark has the hots for Sophie?
This would be more your territory.
I'm just saying, have you seen it?
No. When we get into WNBA rumors and stuff, no.
You haven't seen that video of her looking at her? It's all over the internet.
Grade, no.
I did see this was the tweet of the week, though. It said, Caitlin Clark dresses like she's a senator in the Star Wars Republic. That was a pretty good tweet.
That is pretty funny.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to bring that up, but we'll move on.
So you're claiming that they're...
No, I don't think that.
A couple.
I don't think that. I'm just saying that's what a lot of people said because there's a video of Caitlin on the bench, and Sophie before she was injured, was in, and she's fixing her hair, and Caitlin's staring at her. I think she was just looking at her hair. A lot of people think she was looking at her with goo-goo eyes. But Caitlin's had a boyfriend for multiple years. I'm not saying that. I don't agree. I think that people are off their rocker, but that there's a picture of them together. I think they're just friends, but I don't know. You never know. It is the WNBA. In whatever way she wants to go, that's totally fine with me. I'm going to be a fan regardless. We're an inclusive show here. Let's go. Let's talk some NBA Finals. Let's get it out the way for you. Okay, quick recap. All right, Game 1, Thunder dominate most of the game, right? And they led by as many as 15 in the fourth quarter.
Big Dogs boy, Halliburton.
Well, he's been terrible, actually.
Game winner.
He really has been bad.
Championship.
And the Pacers.
I thought he was coming on today. I figured he was going to come on today and just yell championship.
I'm surprised he didn't. The the Pacers did what the Pacers have done all postseason. They get down by 15 to 20 in the fourth. They somehow make a comeback. They're down by 8 to 10 with under 3 minutes to go, or under a minute to go. In this case, they were down 8 with under 3 minutes to go, and they somehow cut it to 1. SGA has a good look with like 10 seconds to go from the mid-range and somehow misses it. And Tyrese Halliburton, who did nothing the entire night, I don't even think he scored the fourth quarter till this shot, hits a buzzer beater to win the game, and everybody talks about how good he is. The Pacers had less than a 2% chance of winning that game. They have now trailed by 7 with 40 seconds to go at home to Milwaukee in Game 5, won that game. They trailed by 7 with 48 seconds to go in Cleveland in Game 1, won that game. They trailed by 9 with 58 seconds to go, and by 8 with 38 seconds to go.
That's insane.
Against the Knicks in Game 1, and they trailed by 8 with 3 minutes to go against the Thunder in Game 1. They won all 4 games. They had less than a 1% chance of winning all 4 games. The odds, do you know the odds of winning all 4 of those games?
Powerball odds.
It's 3 times the Powerball odds. 1 in 650 million. 1 in 650 million. They flashed the graphic before the game yesterday.
Saying there's a chance. That's crazy.
So you're saying there's a chance. I mean, they really are. So when I come on here, yeah, Powerball's 1 in 292 million. So I guess double, a little over double. But
you would know that.
Because when the number gets over 292 million, then you play, right? Because then you have a plus EV. Anyway, when I say they're the luckiest team in NBA history in the playoffs, I have a reason for saying it. It's the truth. They had a 1 in 650 million chance of winning all those games, and if they lose that game to the Thunder, this series is already over. I mean, Vegas and most people still think this series is over. So obviously the Pacers are playing good at the end of these games, but we've mentioned this before, and I've said this. All 4 of those games, the teams they played just made massive mistakes and let them back in the game, and then they made some shots, and Halliburton makes a shot at the end of the game. But I do want to ask you this. After watching, so that was Game 1. Then we have Game 2 last night. The Thunder dominate from start to finish, up double digits at halftime, up 15 heading to the fourth quarter, and they run away with it. It's never close. Halliburton was terrible. He scored a bunch of points in garbage time down 20, but he was awful the first 3 quarters. And look, after watching the first 2 games, it's now 1-1 heading back to Indiana. The Pacers have stole home court, but Indiana had won the first 2 games in all of their first 3 series. And the Thunder have been here before. They lost Game 1 to the Nuggets and won Game 2 at home, and then went on to win the series in 7. When we previewed this series last week, we both said there really was no path for the Pacers to win this series, and that was probably going to be over in 5 or 6. After watching the first 2 games and knowing it's 1-1, and that considering Indiana has home court advantage, do you feel any differently at this point? Would you change your prediction in terms of maybe not who's going to win? Maybe
because I think the Pacers are going to win. I think they'll win a game at home.
So do you think it's going to go 7 or 6?
I would say more than likely 6 still. I just think they'll win one of these games at home, then probably lose 2 in a row.
That's kind of what I think.
I don't know, but I do think they'll win one of these at home.
I don't think they'll win both at home.
No. I don't think there's any shot of that, but I do think that I think it's 50-50 they win one of them, and I think they will.
Yeah.
I lean that they'll end up winning one of the games at home. I don't think they have any shot in Game 5, and then obviously they would need 2 wins in Game 6 and 7, which isn't going to happen. So, I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say that, anyway. Oklahoma City's far better. Should have won Game 1.
I do think the Pacers have some life, because if you get a series 2-2, anything can happen. SGA could go down, right? Like, anything can happen. So the fact that the Thunder let them have life by blowing that lead, it gives the Pacers a piece of life to have a shot and believe, and that's a dangerous thing. And Indiana does have a lot of guys who can score and shoot it, but OKC's defense, I think, is just too good. And also, Oklahoma City has 2 losses at home in these playoffs. They're both by 1 point at the buzzer. They lost to the Nuggets at the buzzer at home, and lost to the Pacers at home at the buzzer, and they led both games by 15 or more in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
so very unlikely they lose at home.
I don't know how they fall apart. I didn't know how they fell apart in either of those games, but yeah, it's shocking that the Pacers still find a way to win these games. I mean, it's been insane. You would think that their luck would eventually run out, but who knows?
You would think. It's the worst rated finals in a long time. I think you sent it to me.
Yeah.
Game 1 average 8.91 million viewers, excluding the COVID years. That's the lowest rated NBA finals since the Nielsen ratings began tracking it back in 1988. That's pretty fucking wild if you think about it, that it's that low. It's a nightmare matchup for the NBA, which is even more baffling, and why the Knicks got no calls last series. But yeah, it's just kind of, neither of these teams are all that interesting. There's not really a villain on any team, right? They're both Halliburton's like a guy who's like happy-go-lucky, smiling guy. SGA is very soft-spoken, doesn't talk trash. It's just there's not really a hate between the teams, and they're two small market teams. And so you have, basically that means that casual fans are not watching this, right? It's basketball fans. Like, did you watch both of the first 2 games or no? Yeah, see, that's my point. Let's move on real quick. Before we go to NHL, we got 2 more NBA, and I'm gonna let you go NHL. So I don't know if you saw the video of Tyrese Halliburton's girlfriend going after Thunder fans in the stands game 2. She was yelling at Thunder fans and pointing fingers. She was going crazy, and it brought up a good idea for a top 5 list. I'm going to go with the top 5 real quick. The top 5 most annoying wives and girlfriends in sports. Okay,
I like this.
All right, here we go.
As a women-hating show as a whole, this is perfect.
Whoa, this half of the show is a women-hating show. I'm a WNBA fan through and through.
That's a good point.
Okay, I
like women's tennis.
Top 5, yeah.
I'm on the record.
But you say
like
some pretty vulgar things about them when they're losing for you.
Well, listen,
those
first
are the
of
old
all,
days.
Yeah, I'm a changed man now. That was bad.
Oh, I have text from Will. I probably have some trades.
That was
trades offered.
Those are many moons ago. But yes, I've said some hellacious things.
Okay.
What? And trust me, most of them were deserved.
Okay, top 5 most annoying sports wives and girlfriends currently. Number 5, we're gonna go with Sierra, Russell Wilson's wife. This is purely because she is married to Russell Wilson, and anybody who can stand Russell Wilson for more than a year has to be a sociopath.
And before we move on, Bailey, are you a Sierra fan? We know you like the light-skinned blacks. Is she not a rap? Is she not a rapper? Okay, but do you like her or no? Okay.
He said
fair.
he liked her until she married Russell Wilson.
That's fair. Okay.
All right, coming in at number 4.
She's no SZA, that's for sure.
Coming in at number 4, we're going to go Kelly Stafford. Okay? She's had a number of antics, including a couple of years ago when she got mad during a game and threw a pretzel at an opposing fan in the stands.
That's fine.
Okay? Number 3.
She is annoying. I agree.
Number 3, we're going to go with Miko Grimes, Brent Grimes' wife, NFL player, who openly sabotaged him in order to get him out of Miami. And we wonder what that
too many strip clubs.
I was about to say, wonder what that had to do with. And it worked. He got cut from Miami after she did that, and she came out and was bragging about it. Coming in at number 2, this is one that could have been number 1. You could go interchangeable, but number 2, Brittany Mahomes. She has become synonymous with the word annoying. She once popped a bottle of champagne and sprayed it all over an opposing team's fans following a playoff win in freezing temperatures. And she loves to tweet about how the refs are always against the Chiefs and her husband. So she is up there as most annoying.
Talk about delusional.
Talk about delusional.
Golly, who's worse than her?
Number 1, and she wouldn't have been number 1 until a couple months ago. But number 1, the most annoying girlfriend in sports, Jordan Hudson. What a rise it's been from the New England Patriots cheerleader to Bill Belichick's personal Adolf Hitler. To Bill Belichick's personal Adolf Hitler, controlling what he says during interviews, blocking people on Twitter for talking shit about her. She is the most annoying girl in sports right now. And that is your top 5 list for most annoying wags in sports.
Go ahead, Bailey. Who you got? Oh, yeah, Taylor Swift is an annoying girlfriend.
Well,
I was... actually, you can't say that online, dude.
See, that's the thing. I didn't want to get absolutely annihilated. Yeah. I was going to put her on there.
For the record, I love Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I do
Everybody
too.
online.
No, but I will say this. I think at a point she actually is tired of being shown on there, and she annoys me when they show her. But I think to a point she's like, just leave me alone, and the NFL won't leave her alone. So
I will give her good for ratings.
I will give her that. Like, I don't necessarily. I think if she had her choice, she would just go to the games and watch the games. Now, is she overly into the game and annoying? Yeah, she didn't care about football at all before this. So
she cares about her man, Dylan.
I don't know about that. She's now a Chiefs fan. Okay, bandwagon her. Okay, moving on. Let's go last NBA topic here. We mentioned this at the top of the show. Kevin Durant reportedly is interested in going to the Spurs. Bill Simmons on his podcast yesterday said that he believes, he doesn't have any inside information, but he said that he believes that it's possible that a deal has already been done and they're just not announcing it until the week of the draft. I don't believe that. And he does not have any sources. He said, I don't have any sources to confirm that.
How old is Kevin Durant?
So here's what I'll say. Ready? Here's why I don't think this is a good idea at all. Number 1, he's 37 years old. He tore his Achilles back in 2019. Since joining the Suns when he turned 35 years old, they lost in the conference semis in 6. The following year, they got swept in the first round by the T-Wolves as the higher seed, and then this year they failed to make the playoffs entirely. He has 1 year left on his deal, so you'd be trading for him for a short-term rental, and his cap hit is just under $55 million. So to me, here's what I would say, and then you can chime in here. This would be truly one of the most idiotic moves you could ever make as a GM if the Spurs give up anything more than Devin Vassell and Harrison Barnes. Now, if that's the trade, if Devin Vassell and Harrison Barnes is the trade, well, I just think about it this way. Here's why I think it's possible. Say Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, and a second-round pick, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong and they think they can get way more. I have no idea. But he's 37. He has 1 year, so you're getting him for 1 year, and he may not even stay at that point, and you're having to pay him all this money. There is no way in the world there's any team going to give up multiple first-round picks for him. There's no way. So if the Spurs go out and they trade any of our young pieces, Stephon Castle, the number 2 pick, the number 14 pick, or whatever we have, 10, whatever it is, if we go and trade either of those picks or even multiple of our future picks.
The bullseye moves from Nico to our GM.
It does, to Brian Wright.
Brian Wright's in the crosshairs.
He is. No, if he trades for Kevin Durant and gives up multiple first-round picks, he is liable to get shot. I mean, that would be one of the most moronic moves I've ever seen.
We're not saying we agree with that. We're just saying we'd understand it.
Well,
that's all we're saying. And it might be Big Dog that gets him, too. Big Dog's been after him for years.
If they trade multiple firsts for Kevin Durant, Big Dog might have an aneurysm. It would be pretty ugly, and the Facebook message boards are going to go crazy.
Coming from the, oh my God! Did you see that?
Any thoughts on the move?
That'd be horrible. I mean, the only way you do it is if, like you said, you don't trade much. Kevin Durant signs another 2-year contract and takes a giant pay cut. Says he wants to he's got plenty of money, dude. If he wants to come here for $25 to $30 million a year, then sure, why not? But I still don't want to give up first-round picks.
No.
And that's definitely going to be the asking price.
You really think that they think they can get that? Because here's the thing. He's gone this year anyway, and they know he's not coming back.
Well, that's why it would be a sign. I don't think anybody would do it unless it's now, if they're just letting him go for 1 year and he's like a rental, then sure, it might be Vassell in a second-rounder or something.
But here's the thing for me.
But I still think they would want more than that.
But here's the thing for me is he's not going back there anyway. It's a situation like the Kawhi situation where he's never going back there. So if you're the Spurs, right, why not wait till now? I know he's going to be a year older, but why not leverage that, right, and say, look, we understand what you want for him.
Right.
We can wait a year and he'll come here. He wants to come to San Antonio. Okay, well, we'll wait. Or you can get what we're giving you now, which is Vassell, who is a young guy. Vassell has 3 or 4 years left on his deal, so there's some value there. And salary cap wise, it works because Vassell makes I think close to 30, and Harrison Barnes I think makes close to 20. So if you got rid of those two guys, throw in a second round pick, I'm cool with that. But it can't be more than that. It cannot be a first rounder. It can be none. It can't be any first rounders. Giving up any first rounders would be idiotic.
I just hope we don't do it. I don't want old, washed-up Kevin Durant.
I wouldn't mind him. I wouldn't mind him because
I want to. If you can get him for cheap, then fine.
I wouldn't mind him for dumping because I want to dump Vassell anyway. And if it doesn't work, who cares?
I also think Kevin Durant's a cancer at this point in his career.
He might be. He very well might be.
Ran Bud out of town. Those guys, the Suns. Devin Booker's a guy that actually cares about basketball, and that team looked like they did not give a fuck.
No, they didn't. And Kevin Durant was arguing with Bud.
I mean, he just Durant. I don't know.
I don't disagree with that at all.
He's getting a little older. I just don't think I want him around Wemby, honestly.
Very good point.
I still don't think unless we got another big piece besides Durant, we're still not winning a title against the Thunder. So why? I mean, I don't know. I don't like it. Just build with look what the Thunder did, dude. We have you're gonna have the best player in the league. You can already make an argument that he is, and it's and it definitely in 2 years he probably will be. So it's just surround him with young talent. Go from there.
Going to get guys like Kevin Durant does not work anymore. It's been proven that model is dead, at least for now. And it's only going to get worse with the second apron changing, and you're not going to be able to make super teams anymore. That's why, like you said, OKC was able to do it. They really mean, SGA is essentially homegrown. He basically came there after his rookie year. And then you have Jalen Williams in his third year. You have Chet Holmgren in his second year. And honestly, dude, Chet's not even that good. Chet's been really not good in the playoffs. And he's their third best player, and they're going to win a championship. Because why? Because they have a ton of depth around him. Look at all the pieces. And who do they go out and get? They don't go out and get stars. They go out and get Alex Caruso, who's a hustle guy, who's been a huge difference maker for them. They go out and get Isaiah Hartenstein to back up their Chet Holmgren, who's been huge defensively and on the boards. So they go and get little veterans the way the Spurs used to do it, and they surround their young guys with some mixed-in veterans, and what happens? They're young with some talent and a few veteran leaders, and boom, you got a championship squad. And they're going to win this championship, and they're going to win a couple more, I think. They really are.
I think they'll win at least a couple.
Yeah, SGA is for real, man. Okay, let's go to news or fake news. Ready?
Let's hear it.
It's time for news or fake news.
See what we got.
Number 1, Don Nelson earned the Chuck Daly Lifetime Achievement Award this week. Is this news or fake news?
I hope it's real news. I love Don.
Is it? What are you saying?
Oh, it's true.
It is true. He is second all-time in wins. He was forever. He was first in wins, but passed him a couple years back. 5 championships as a player with the Boston Celtics. 250-plus wins with 3 different franchises. Donnie Nelson.
Smokes more weed than just about anybody.
About to say, the
him and Willie choke it up.
That's right.
Willie, and Owen Wilson all playing like some big poker game. They all live in Maui. That's all they do, apparently, smoke weed and play poker together.
That's quite the life. Got to be an NBA coach for 40 years and win a bunch of championships as a player, and now you're smoking weed and playing poker with Willie Nelson and Owen Wilson. Okay, number 2, the House settlement was approved this week, which will allow schools to pay players directly in college. However, the ADs will have to allocate a cap of $20.5 million across all sports.
That's news, and I saw that all the Power Fives are going to put like something like 90% of that into football and basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
no, they
18 million or something to the 20s.
And that's the thing is they're the only two most profitable, or the only two in most cases that are profitable.
Correct. Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting to see how this works for other programs. Like how are funds going to be allocated?
So can they still get NIL deals?
So here's the deal. Yes, they can get NIL deals still outside. However, they have to be vetted. Once you receive an NIL deal, they will go through a process of being. I forgot the term they used. But they go through a process of like a clearinghouse to ensure that the NIL deal has actual NIL value and that it's not just a booster paying them outside of the program.
Got it.
And so that is going to be, if they can actually find a good way to do it. Now, is there going to be underground deals still? Yeah, because now it's easier to hide money when money's already available, right? But it is going to make it harder than it is now, and there's going to be some sort of limit. And so, yeah, 100%. It's a good thing that they're doing
this. And that's for all D1 schools
Correct.
getting the 20?
The
20 that's crazy.
But it's going to go up every year.
So Bowling Green's going to have $20 million to spend?
But that's the thing. That's the most they can spend, but they might not be able to. They don't get $20 million.
Oh,
that's just the cap.
Got it.
That's just the cap.
Okay, so then, of course, they won't spend
right.
it. Got it.
And so it's no different for them than
I thought the NCAA was like actually making
no.
Because they've been sued so many
times.
That's what I thought they were.
The boosters giving money to the collective will pay that out. The NIL deals will be outside from that city, outside company. So
well, it's still better than what we got now. We'll see how it plays out.
I don't know when it's set to go in effect either, because a lot of people already have big deals, and it's way more money.
I wish when they gave them money, they'd have to sign a 2-year deal, and no matter what,
that's what I was
anywhere,
hoping too. But it sucks. Hopefully, that's where we're trending next. Hopefully, this is the step. This is one step, and we'll take another step forward here soon. Okay, number 3, the College Football Power Index was released, and the Georgia Bulldogs were ranked as the number 1 team in the FPI, followed by Ohio State and Texas.
I'm going to say that it's fake news, and they have Ohio State number 1.
It is fake news, but they have Texas number 1. Texas actually, followed by Georgia, then Ohio State, then Alabama, then Penn State. Texas also has the highest probability of making the playoff at 84% and the highest odds of winning a championship at 22.2%. So they are by far the highest ranked team in terms of analytics. Number 4, Jay Wright is one of the favorites to land the New York Knicks head coaching position. Fake news or fake news?
It might have been news, but he's already come out and said he didn't want it. I'm going to say it's news that he is one of the favorites, but he's not going to take the job.
Well, I was making it more. You
Okay.
got it right because
Okay.
I meant it more along the lines of he's in the running to actually get it, but
Right.
he's not. He's say I'm not interested,
Right,
so
right,
it's
right.
not.
Okay.
Right. I don't know what
Yeah.
the actual odds are, but I have no idea why he wouldn't do this. It's the perfect job if you were going to take a job. It's in his neck of the woods. You're coaching all your former Villanova players. Like I guess he just doesn't want to coach anymore.
I just think he doesn't want to.
And I get it. I mean, he's an analyst during March
I
Madness,
think
and
he
that's
likes
about all he
doing
does.
what he's doing,
And he has
spending
plenty
time
of
with
money.
the family.
And
Yeah.
he's a god at Villanova, right? Like
Right.
he's just a legend there. Last one, former NFL defensive back Pac-Man Jones was arrested Saturday morning in Cincinnati for public intoxication and assault of a police officer.
If it's made up, it's a great made up one. I'm going to say that's news.
It is news. I'm going to get you on one of those soon, though.
I
this
mean,
is the-
Pac-Man Jones is like, that's if you told me Pac-Man Jones did anything, that's what I would have guessed. So
This is the fourth time since 2021 Jones has been arrested. He's now been arrested at least once in each of the last 3 years. Now, that's a streak to be proud of right
good
there.
for him. Good for Pac-Man.
In 2023, he was removed from a flight and charged with alcohol intoxication, disorderly contact, and get this, making terroristic threats on a plane.
Oh, I thought you were going to say masturbating on an airplane. You said, get this. I was like, I thought
That
we were
would have
going
been funnier.
Full-blown hangover.
Yeah.
It's frowned upon.
Yeah, maybe after 9/11.
Yeah.
Other charges that he's had over the years include multiple assaults on police officers, public intoxication, and also misdemeanor assault.
One of the all-around good but misunderstood dudes in the world.
Oh yeah,
Pac-Man
definitely.
Jones. Pac-Man Jones.
Okay.
Do we have WNBA or not today?
No, we don't.
You
but I have.
son of a bitch.
I know.
You took that. I mean, that's what the people
Look, we're gonna go two things real quick. I'm gonna give you a floor. Give me a 3 to 5 minute NHL summary. We had the first two games. Both went to overtime, correct?
Okay, since I have the floor,
Edmonton won the
Right.
first game, and then
Right.
Florida came back and won the second
both
game.
overtime games, great games. Marchand scored a shorty in game 2, also scored the game winner in game 2 in OT. Fantastic series. My pick, the Florida Panthers, are still going to win the title. All the games have been fun to watch, high scoring. Bobrovsky hasn't been great. He's made some good saves, but he's given up more goals than I would expect. But the Oilers' offense is just, the best in the world. So that's what you get when you get McDavid and Draisaitl skating around. Yeah, I think the Panthers still ultimately win. It makes more sense. We were talking about this last show about the Oilers being slight, a tick being slight favorites, like minus
Correct.
130. They have home ice. If it was Florida that had home ice, they would have been favored. I just didn't know they had home ice. That's why I was like, really? They're favored? So that makes a lot more sense. And then, since I also have the floor, I guess we got to talk tennis because we didn't touch on that.
I'm going to get to
touch
it in
on
Big
that?
Finish.
Okay.
So we can
Yeah,
touch on it
crazy
there.
tennis match. And then
But-
we got U.S. Open this week, too.
Yep, U.S. Open. So real quick, give me, since we're on the topic here. By the way, if Edmonton had won Game 2, do you think they would have won the series?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
because they're
Been tough to come back from 2-0.
Yeah, they're just very equal teams. So, yeah.
Florida's a minus 142 favorite in the game tonight in Game 3. Okay, who's your pick? Scotty Scheffler's an overwhelming favorite. I think I saw plus 240 to win the
Right.
U.S. Open. It's crazy. I think the second favorite was Bryson at plus 700. Give me who you think actually wins, and then give me a value pick odds-wise, and then maybe a long shot.
Man, I'm going to go with who actually wins. I'm going to take, who do I want to go with here? You got to have someone that hits the ball straight, man.
Scotty's the biggest favorite in the last 16 years.
Yeah, since Heyday Tiger.
in the
I
US
have
Open.
no idea why McElroy is the second choice with the way he's been hitting the ball.
I
That's
thought Bryson
fucking-
was second.
Well, I'm looking right now, and it says betting favorites, and it has McElroy 6-1, Bryson at 9-1.
Oh, I saw
Odds on
McElroy 10-1.
Odds on ESPN bet. Well, he should be. I mean, the guy, what he did last week. I'm gonna say, oh God, who do I want to pick?
I'm looking right here, and
I'm
it has
gonna
real quick,
go-
and it
go
has on DraftKings. DraftKings has Scotty at plus 275, Bryson plus 750, John Rahm plus 1200, and Rory plus 1200, and then the next closest one is Xander at plus 2200.
I'm gonna take Morikawa to win. He's been playing okay. He drives it usually pretty straight. And then my dark horse, who's been so close in majors, is I'm gonna take Justin Rose.
Yeah, I thought you might.
I
do
think
that.
he's gonna finally, maybe, I think he's just going to be right. He just has got a good mojo going on in these major championships, and he feels like he can win. It just depends on being a little bit older. Just depends on how accurately he's going to be able to drive it because the rough there is insane. So it's going to come down to that. And then, that's my long shot choice there.
Do you think more than likely Scotty does win it?
Yeah,
probably.
He's just. Yeah, he hits the ball straight as an arrow.
I would
tee to green.
Not that it's the greatest odds, but I just feel like if you're gonna take one of the favorites, one of the top 5 or top 4, that you go Bryson, just because Scotty's at too tough of a price, and Bryson just for some reason every major seems to be in the top 5, and he's there at the end. He's right there. So if you have plus 700,
what are his odds? 7-1,
7.5.
What is Morikawa?
Morikawa is the 6th favorite at 25-1.
Yeah, see, for the 25-1 instead of the 7, I would go Morikawa.
I just don't trust him.
I don't either, but it's just for the price there. I think he's worth playing. I wouldn't bet Justin Rose to win, but I don't know if it'd show the odds over there, but I would bet Justin Rose top 5, and it should be probably
Justin Rose top 5 is 16-1.
Yeah, that's
to win is 110-1.
Yeah, I would. People at home, I'd put. Maybe like $5-10 on him to win, and then bet 25, a little bit more on top 5.
$20 top 5. I'm gonna take him top 5 for sure. What about random one here? Ben Griffin's been playing phenomenal. He's 70-1. Any shot he wins here, or is that just like not? You have to be a top guy to win.
I don't think you necessarily have to be the top guy, but it's just a different animal on the golf course. It's just everything's just you have to be so. The greens are going to be rolling a gazillion miles an hour. And if you're looking at it at home and you're actually going to bet on it, really go look at, you want to find guys that are fantastic putters on those kind of greens, and then got fair, accuracy off the tee, because it's all about being in the fairway.
Right.
So that's why you see they have names on there like Russell Henley, people who can win. Like Brian Harmon is deathly accurate off the tee. Someone like him.
Where is
if
this
he's driving
again?
it well? It's in Oakmont.
Okay. Okay, let's go quickly. We're gonna do these just fast. Yep. Ready? NFL win totals. We're gonna do 10 over-unders. We'll do 10 different ones next week, and we'll kind of go through all the teams. So we're gonna start from the highest numbers to lowest. And I just picked some random ones that are interesting.
Absolutely no.
But we'll have them on the record. We'll have them on the record for the early time, and we can change. We'll do these again later. But ready? Bills over under 11.5 wins. I'm gonna say. I
think they get right at 12.
I'm gonna say over as well, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them go under. Eagles over under 11.5 wins. I think they're gonna have a hangover. I'm going under. And by the way, I bet the next 3. I bet 2, 3, and 4. I think it was the Niners, the Lions, and the who was the other
Cowboys?
one? No, it's the Lions, Niners, Commanders, each to win the NFC, and they're all plus 500 or better. And I'm basically just betting that the Eagles won't win the NFC. I think
what
it's
happens
be one
when
of
the
those
Cowboys shock?
Well, then I would be happy to pay $30 because I only put 10 on each.
I will
Eagles
say,
over under. I say under.
Man, I'm going to say under, and the reason I'm going to say under is because I think Jalen Hurts is going to miss like 5 or 6 games. I think he'll get hurt.
Okay. I just think they're going to have a Super Bowl hangover here.
Oh, they certainly could.
Lions over under 10.5 wins.
Dude, it's so funny.
I'm going over, but it's going to be real close. I think they're going to be 10 or 11.
I'm surprised it's only 10. Yeah, man, that division's good. I'm going to say under. I think they win exactly 10 games. It's going to be right there.
49ers over under 10.5 wins.
I think they're going to be I'm going to say they win 10. I'm going to say under.
I'm going to say under as well. I don't think they did enough in the offseason.
Right.
Commanders over under 9.5 wins.
They're going to go over that.
I do too. I don't think there's going to be a sophomore slump. Texans over under 9.5 wins.
I think they're going to win 10 games too.
I'm going to say under. I think they win 9. Bears over under 8.5 wins. I'm going under.
I'd probably take the under. I think they're going to win 7 or 8.
9, yeah. Cowboys over under 7.5 wins. I'll tell
How
you right now.
about them Cowboys are going over, baby?
I'll tell you right now. They're going over that, and that's going to be one of my best bets. They're going over that. They're going to win 8 games. They're not that bad. They're bad, but they're not that bad.
Right.
8.5. 8 wins. Come on, to go 8-9. Okay. Jaguars over under 7.5 wins. I'm going under. Trevor Lawrence is cooked, and he needs to retire.
I think they're going to win like 4 games.
They're horrible.
Yeah, I think they're going to go way under that.
Duval. Panthers over under 6.5 wins. I'm going over.
You know, it's
It looked
funny.
better
I was
late.
smiling. I was like, I think they're going to win 7 or 8.
They're going to win 7 or 8
I think
too.
they're going to be okay.
Okay, real quick before we transition to the big finish, I do have one special thing. We have Jerry Jones. We have Jerry Jones on the line here.
boy.
So
What a treat.
we'd like to welcome Jerry back to the show. Jerry, how are you doing? We've been dying to have you back on after last time.
Well, look, I've been listening to the show, and I heard Uncle T talking about Michael Sam and Carl Nesbitt last week, and since I'm coming on your show, and I don't want anyone to think I'm associated with that, so I just wanted to say we don't allow that type of behavior in Dallas. I believe that sexual intercourse is reserved for a man and his wife, or in my case, a man, his wife, and a couple of Thai hookers from time to time. Now, look, I'm not going to lie to you. 1 or 2 times a man-lady may have slipped in there, but here's the key. I did not know about it, okay? And when I observed the piece, that person was politely asked to leave after signing an NDA that Jerry Jr. was nice enough to craft up for me. So,
Look, Jerry, we're getting a little off topic here. I want to ask you some football questions, if that's okay.
well, that's what I'm here to. Let's talk some football because I believe this is our year in Dallas. Yes, I admit it's been a while since we won a Super Bowl in Dallas, but I blame that solely on Jerry Jr. and Dak. And trust me, they've been punished accordingly for their mistakes, all right?
Okay, well, let's talk about Dak because you did give him a $60 million a year salary last season, and he repaid you by having the worst year of his career. So what have you seen from Dak so far this offseason? Do you expect him to play better? What do you think Dak's going to do this year?
Well, look, I will admit, Dak's contract maybe wasn't the best financial investment. If I had a time machine to go back and redo the whole thing, I would have traded Dak to the Washington Redskins for that skinny black kid everybody was raving about last year. You see, I have some dirt on Dan Quinn. Let's just say, we had some wild nights back when he was in Dallas. Me, Dan, and Jason Garrett, my redheaded stepchild, and there may be some pictures I have stashed away, but I'm saving those for a later date. Regardless, I'm getting tired actually of coming on here and talking about all my bad contracts I've done. Look, I'm not going to come on here every time I didn't pull out of something that resulted in a defeat, or in my Mistress Cynthia's case, a defeat us. Okay? You guys have no idea what I go through trying to put up a successful team on the field, all while dealing with multiple paternity lawsuits and 3.5 incompetent kids and an angry wife.
Well, Jerry, I'm not sure what you mean with 3.5 kids there, but that's a little inappropriate. And that's saying something coming from our show with Uncle T and what he says on here. But listen, I just have one more question. Okay, I wanted to ask you about the Micah Parsons deal. How is it coming? You guys still haven't signed him, and this seems a lot like the Dak CD situation last year.
Well, look, we're in contract negotiations with Micah right now, and if it were up to me, we'd already given Micah the money. You guys know how much I love paying big black football players millions of dollars, so I feel like I own them. But, Micah's got his podcast, and he said some not-so-nice things about Jerry Jr. about his pecker size, and my wife Eugenia, she didn't like that too much, so she's making me hold out on this negotiation. But I'm confident we're going to get a deal done here soon, and Micah will be on the field in the blue and white this season. You guys have a good one. You guys take care.
Well, thank you, Jerry. Thanks for coming on. We look forward to having you next week.
Jerry.
Thanks, Jerry. Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Jones. All right, so thanks for that call. Let's go to the big finish here. And shout out to Jerry for coming on. We'll hopefully have him back next week.
Gotta love Jerry.
Gotta love Jerry. All right, here we go. We got 5 minutes to get this done in an hour.
All right.
We're probably not going to go through this in 5 minutes, but we'll try to go 5 to 10. Ready? Here we go. It's time for the big finish. Shout out to the Texas women's softball team who defeated Texas Tech 10-4 in Game 3 of the Women's College World Series to claim their first ever softball national championship last weekend. My Longhorns took down Uncle T's Red Raiders, and yes, neither of us went to either of those schools.
No, Texas Tech dropouts.
Sorry, my bad. You
Yes.
did. Well, I did get into UT. I just
dare.
decided to go to Trinity. So
There you go.
Speaking of college softball, Texas lit up star Texas Tech pitcher Nigeri Kennedy for 5 runs in the first inning before she was pulled. It was announced before the game that she was given a second 7-figure NIL deal by Texas Tech. Is this a bad/stupid move by Tech to pay a softball pitcher that much money?
No, because there's a booster that's willing to do it and wants to be good at softball. I would have waited to give it. I would have, after that championship game performance, I would have docked her $200,000. I would have waited to have her sign that.
So,
money well spent. Yeah, Texas Tech's been horrible at softball for a long time. First time in Oklahoma City, first time in the championship series. No, money well spent for sure.
for that guy. But I will say Texas Tech paid this girl over $1 million. Their ticketing revenue in 23-24 was less than $105,000.
Oh, yeah.
So they're losing money by doing
This is just a hobby.
I'm not a mathematician, but that doesn't really add up there.
Yeah.
You know, and their head coach makes $250,000 a year. She makes more in 1 year than he makes in 4 years. So the racehorse Sovereignty won the Belmont Stakes Saturday afternoon, passing journalism in the final stretch, just like he did in the Kentucky Derby. Should Sovereignty have run the Preakness, and would we have been looking at a Triple Crown winner this year?
You know, who knows? Obviously, I'm sure they're kind of kicking themselves for not trying it, but I will say this. Winning the Kentucky Derby and the Belmont, it's not, that horse is, with the stud fees on that horse and everything are going to be worth the exact, being a Triple Crown winner, cool, would have been awesome, but I think that horse getting a rest, then coming back to run the Belmont, did, wonders for it. It's so much harder to just run every single race, and I think journalism, is almost, like, those horses are so, I'll be honest with you, I got to go watch the replay of the Belmont. But depending on what kind of trips they got, I don't know. I think Sovereignty's a great horse. I think Journalism is a great horse. They'll both be in the Breeders' Cup Classic for a long time to come. They're both very good racehorses.
He did pass him the exact way he did in the Derby.
Right.
Just the exact same way. And the guy, the commentator was like, leaving no doubt who the best horse is or whatever.
Right.
And I will say,
like
he's
I said,
also a fifth-generation descendant of Secretariat.
All those horses
That's
are.
right. Yeah, he was, Secretariat did get around.
Yes, he did.
But
He's a Wilt Chamberlain of fucking horses.
But I'm glad they didn't win the Triple Crown because that horse is owned by the Saudis. And fuck the Saudis. So I'm glad that Sovereignty did not win the Triple Crown. Okay, Saturday. What?
Unless the PIF fund wants to sponsor this show. Fuck the Saudis.
That's a big big difference.
We'll take the blood money.
We'll happily take the blood money.
You don't have to ask us twice.
We don't care where it comes from.
Live Golf. I would have signed up so fucking quick. I would have been on Dustin Johnson's plane with fucking Pat Perez.
Oh, man. Okay, this one we already covered. Aryna Sabalenka lost in 3 sets in the French Open final. After the match, she made a comment saying that it was just making unforced errors, that she won the match, not because she played incredible, but just because I made all of those mistakes. Now, I was going to ask you if this was an appropriate comment, but since we talked about it, I'll just ask you what you have to think about this. Aryna Sabalenka now 0-3 versus Black American women in Grand Slam finals.
Yep.
So, how about that?
Yep.
Can't get over
racist.
the hump.
Yep. I think she's racist. I don't think she can. She definitely sees color, and it throws her off on that side of the court. Clearly.
Especially with the red clay.
Yes.
Okay. Yannick Sinner had a 2 sets to love lead in the men's French Open final versus Carlos Alcaraz. He also had triple match point in the 4th set.
5-3 at 5-3.
At 5-3 as Alcaraz was serving, then had a chance to serve it out after losing all 3 of those match points. Unable to finish the job, Alcaraz comes back to win the match in a 5th set tiebreaker, claiming his 2nd French Open championship. I think it was his 2nd. Back-to-back for sure. Question, was this Yannick Sinner choking, or was this Carlos Alcaraz outplaying Sinner?
At 5-3, it's a choke for sure. Because
and 5-4.
Yeah, and he had a chance to serve her. So it was a choke, and then Carlos's level just completely changed. Sinner obviously choked that away, but if you watch how he played in the 5th set, he would have beaten anybody on earth too.
Yeah.
He was playing incredible. That's why McEnroe was like losing his mind in the booth. Just going nuts. And he came out, as John likes to ruffle feathers, he came out and said that both these guys right now would beat Nadal in his prime, which I actually agree with. But he likes to. Most people don't say things like that because they don't want to stir the pot. But of course, care. John's like, yeah. But no, he didn't say Djokovic or Roger. He just said Nadal.
Well, because Nadal's not as good as either of those guys.
But the one thing I will say is true. I think he was kind of making a French Open deal, which I disagree with. I think Nadal in his prime on clay.
Oh, yeah, he was the most dominant clay court player ever.
Because it's just the way he would even... Now, is Carlos more talented? Sure. But Rafa never takes a point off, and it's just a different animal playing him on 5 sets in clay. Right. If they played like a 3-set match, sure, Carlos, could beat him. But yeah, 5 sets, it's just a different animal against Nadal. So
I think Nadal's the 3rd best ever, but he's the best ever on clay by far.
Yeah.
Federer's the best. Okay, Nick Chubb signed a 1-year deal with the Houston Texans yesterday. Who is third all-time on the Browns' all-time rushing list, will join Joe Mixon in the Texans' backfield. Will Chubb play a key role for the Texans, or will he serve more as a backup role?
Oh, he'll definitely serve more as a backup role, but the Texans probably got him for cheap. What did they pay him?
I don't know. They didn't say, but it's probably like $2 million, $3 million.
Right.
Yeah. I actually think there's going to be a few games where Chubb ends up being featured because Mixon has some mental issues.
Right.
And also,
Mixon could kill somebody.
He definitely could. I don't think this is going to be an 80-20. I don't think it's going to be 80-20 split. I think it's going to be like a 60-40 split.
Yeah.
But it depends on Chubb's health for sure.
That's good. I mean, that's great anyway. I mean, not for the Mixon owners, but it's good to keep Mixon healthy for sure.
For sure. Aaron Rodgers signed a 1-year, $13.65 million deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers this week. The Steelers' win total is over under 8.5 wins. Do they go over this number and by default have a winning record?
Yeah.
Or a non-losing record?
I mean, they might go 8-1.
I will say this. First of all, they're going under the total. Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin together is the disaster we didn't know we needed.
They're going to be great.
But I will say number 2, just so everybody knows, it's been, and this is an actual number because I did the math last night, 3,067 days since Mike Tomlin's last playoff victory. January 1st, 2017. He's 0-6 in his last six playoff games. Just wanted to say that.
He's a winner.
He is a winner, except in the playoffs, and he's not a winner. He's just not a loser.
That's right.
Okay, Derrick Henry has a bet with Adam Sandler that if he runs for 2,000 yards this season, he will get to be in one of Sandler's next movies. First off, do you think Henry has any shot to do it at this point in his career? Secondly, do you think Derrick Henry would be a good actor? And then go ahead and add whatever you want.
I think he's got a shot to do it just because it's Derrick Henry and he looked still pretty good last year. I mean, you would expect him to slow down at some point.
He's only done it once ever in his career.
Yeah. No, I mean, it would be extremely hard to do. I think he's going to get close, not get there, and Adam Sandler, being a good guy, will put him in the movie anyway.
He should have made it a more reasonable number anyway. Make it like 1,500 yards. Right. Guy's like 35 years old.
I think Sandler just made it 2,000. It's like, you got to get to it. Then he's like, okay, you can be in the movie.
He's going to make him, he's going to let him be in the movie regardless. Yeah, but apparently he was a big fan, and then Adam Sandler called him on the field, FaceTimed him, or sent him a video message when it was during practice the other day, and was like, if you do that, we'll also sit down and talk about how Dan Patrick... He's like, we'll talk about how Dan Patrick can't grow facial hair or something like that. Because that's how it started. Derrick Henry was on Dan Patrick, and Patrick was like, I'll get you in an Adam Sandler movie if you want.
I love how Dan Patrick's always in the Adam Sandler movies.
Okay, last one. College World Series Championship, or called the actual World Series, gets underway on Friday. Number 3, Arkansas, is the only top 5 seed to reach Omaha. We still have one spot up for grabs. Murray State and Duke will play Game 3 tonight. Who is your pick to win it all at the College World Series?
Who's all in it?
So
give me the list. Oh, did LSU win yesterday?
They did.
Oh, give me LSU.
Sorry,
give me the Tigers.
Okay, it's Louisville versus Oregon State, Arizona versus Coastal Carolina, UCLA versus the winner of Murray State and Duke, and LSU versus Arkansas. So
that's a big matchup. Yeah.
And those are the 2 best teams remaining.
I'll take the Tigers.
That's who I was gonna pick.
Tigers.
But I switched my pick at the last second away from Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. I switched my pick away at the last second to Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina, the best bullpen in the country.
Yeah.
I read that somewhere. I don't know if that's true.
Best bullpen in the country against the fucking deaf and blind school that they're playing over.
They have 53 wins, sir.
In the Sun Belt.
They have the most wins of any team in the country, and by default, they will now win the national championship. And they'll cut down the baseball nets. That's not a thing. That's all we got for you here at the Slobberknocker Sports Podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Make sure if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Enjoy the NBA Finals, NHL Stanley Cup. Hopefully, we'll be coming to you next week. I might be coming to you live from Vegas next week.
And Jeremiah will make his much anticipated debut on the show.
So we hear. I'll believe it when I see it. I hope he'll come on.
I said, do I need to say anything on the show? He goes, just let people know I'm a college football expert and I know more about 9 and under girls soccer than anybody on the planet.
The Thundercats are a real menace to deal with.
Thundercats are a unit.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next time.